My deepest fear would be seeing my kids grow up not being disciplined. Discipline teach you how to navigate through life. Discipline
Mm.
make you understand that with everything you do, it's a cause and effect.
What up? What up? We are back again. This is the Spend No Effort podcast. I'm Jeremy Jennings. I'm here with my guy, my brother, Mr. Derrick Jackson.
Yo, what's good?
What up? And we got a special guest in the building, a childhood friend of ours. We go back 25 plus years as far as I can remember knowing you since
Oh yeah.
Napier
Oh yeah.
days. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we got, all right, so I'm going to say this, right? I'm going to call you AZ because that's what I've been calling you ever since I known you, right? But can you please, just for me, pronounce your name correctly? Because you know how we are growing up as kids in the hood. We just give people nicknames, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So can you give the correct pronunciation of your name? And also, just let me know, did AZ just kind of became like, all right, that's just what they called me? Or was that like a family name given to you? I'm actually curious.
So the way you pronounce my name is Aziz Marece.
Zeus.
Aziz Maurice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool,
And
cool.
AZ came from childhood when everybody started just calling me AZ. So it was
Yeah.
actually given to me from friends.
Got you. You know, your name, you like, what's your name? My name is Aziz. It's like, man, you AZ. We
AZ.
gonna call you AZ from now on.
That's how they do you too. Nah, I ain't gonna call you that, man. You AZ.
Yeah. So cool. Dope. So while we on your childhood, I do want to ask you, and I ask everyone this that join our platform, what is your origin story? And when I'm big on origin stories, and when I say origin story, what was your childhood like? Were there any key moments in your childhood or in your young adulthood that helped shape you into person that you've become today? Right. So just tell us a little bit about it.
Started key moments. I think getting into fights almost every other day. My whole family, me, my dad, and my brother getting into a fight. I think that did it for me that I had to get out and make something of myself. Actually seeing my whole family getting into a fight. Yeah, growing up where we grew up, if you let it keep you in the same place. It keep you comfortable. Like I know friends to this day that still lives out there.
Of course, yeah.
Not because they came, it's because they comfortable. But
Hmm.
seeing our family get in a fight with another family, it made me it's time to get out. It made me
Yeah.
think a lot of different things.
Yeah. For sure. And you mentioned your brother, and your brother was, a friend of ours too, right? I do want to, and I have a pretty good memory, right? I remember this rumor that your brother, and I don't know if it was true or not, but it was like your brother rode over here on a plane by himself when y'all first came, like over here.
Nah,
That was just one of them rumors. It was like, yeah, Lil Bill, when he was a kid, he rode a plane over here from his, native
Ain't no
country or
telling
whatever the
where
case.
they came from too. That's
no,
how funny that is.
Yeah.
we all came together.
Cool.
Yeah,
All right, I
yeah.
just wanted to clear that up. And so, man, you mentioned, of course, fights, and growing up as a kid, period, it's probably hard to avoid fights. In our neighborhood in the south side of Nashville, it was a little tougher to avoid fights or whatever the case may be, right? And it was
Hmm.
just tough. Trouble was just all around us, not fighting, you know what I mean? But also, gangs started to kind of develop, kind of made its way to Nashville by the time we were getting into high school, right? Of course, some of our peers started selling drugs a little early, right? You just want to you want the finer things in life, or you could be trying to help your family or whatever the case may be. What was it, AZ, that kept you out of trouble as a kid? I know, one thing, of course, I know sports is one of them, right? Because still are a really good athlete, right? But what was it? Was it anything other than sports?
My brother?
Your brother.
You know, when we was growing up, he got jumped in to GD. So he used to always tell me, "Nah, you can't be in the game." So when I wanted to join, he used to beat me up. Yes,
Big brother.
so he used to beat me up every other day. So that did it for me. And then the friends that I hung around too. So that helped out a lot.
Okay, yeah. And what's interesting, once again, I can remember our childhood. And you know how brothers are, man. And y'all were actually really close in age, the same way Derrick is with his older brother, right? One of the things I do remember about y'all a lot of times, and it's like this with brothers for some reason, y'all couldn't be on the same team a lot of times when it came to like playing basketball and stuff because y'all would get into it, right? So y'all would often get into it outside or whatever, but when it come down to it, you know, your brother at home is telling you like, "Don't follow in my footsteps," right? Because me and Derrick share similar experiences with our older brother. For however much we fight or whatever, you know, our older brother is there to protect us, and there to keep us out of trouble. And they normally, unfortunately, are the ones that we have to learn from them. They're the ones that have to experience kind of the tougher things in life, and you know, they look back most of the time and like, "No, we don't want you to go through this, man."
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, So it wasn't a time when you always wanted more for yourself? Or was it ever a time? Because it seemed like out the gate, because Derrick and my path wasn't really linear to get where we are today, right? It wasn't a straight path. For you, I feel like right after you graduated, I believe you went to college. It may have been MTSU if I'm not mistaken, right?
Well, I
Like, it's
went to
kinda like you kinda knew you wanted more or you just wanted to be successful. You're like, "Alright, this is what I wanna do."
yeah, I had I think it had to be my freshman year of high school.
Okay.
I had a scare from my girlfriend at that time. She was you know, telling me she was pregnant and all of that.
Freshman year?
Freshman year.
You was getting it
My
in,
god.
boy.
So I found out that was a lie. So from
Okay.
that point, something just clicked that I had to be better. I had to be better personally, sexually, better man, and conduct myself in a different light to be able to achieve what I have now, if that makes sense. I think that being lied to put me in a place where I never wanted to feel like that ever again.
Okay, so it wasn't. 'Cause, you know, a lot of times when, you know, you have a baby on the way, it makes you wanna step your game up like, "Okay, I really gotta stop playing." It wasn't that for you, it was like, "Oh, this young lady lied. I could have been in a situation that really wasn't gonna be conducive for me right now at this age," right? So it was more of like, "Okay, I gotta be more intentional about my decision making." Okay, I understand it. Because I can understand my pregnancy scare didn't really come until senior year, and I will say you become a lot more religious and get a lot closer to God when you get that pregnancy scare.
You be
You know, I was
praying,
I was
boy.
reading all through
You
that
be
Bible. I'm telling you, try to find some relief, some understanding,
man,
right? But
that's
that
funny.
pregnancy scare ain't no joke. I'm still
That's
thus
one
far,
thing that'll
Yeah.
huh?
definitely change you. Pregnancy scare.
Yeah. And you know, at freshman year is young, man. You talking about your whole the whole trajectory of your life would have changed. You know what I mean? Yeah, freshman year. You were like what, 15? 14, 15?
Yeah, for
Goodness. Yeah. Yeah, and Derek, please chime in because I know you said you may have had a question or two just about us growing up together. Because we all grew up together. Some great memories, some interesting memories, right? One of the things I did wanna do, honestly, because, you know, your brother was, you know, a friend of mine as well growing up, right? And I
yeah.
did just wanna pay, tribute to your brother, Lil Bill. Now, I do wanna ask, what was his official name? Because once again, we called him Lil Bill, right? Was that like was Lil like an adjective, or was that, like, legit his full name? Because I didn't learn until we got grown, like, Lil Michael was actually, like, Lil Michael. That was actually his name. I thought it was
No,
like Lil
it
Michael,
was
right?
Nabil.
It was what?
Nabil?
So Nabil.
Nabil. Wow.
Yeah, Nabil.
Yeah, yeah. I did not, and
Hey,
once again, you don't know that because I wasn't fortunate to have classes with neither one of y'all, right? You and I are the same age, AZ,
Mhm.
but your brother was a couple of grades higher than me or whatever. But I do remember your brother, man, was always for me also, because he was a little older. He was always that person that was trying to pour knowledge into you, right?
definitely,
Mhm.
I
definitely.
can remember I was getting ready to go to high school, McGavick, and he was one of the individuals. He had already been there a couple of years. He was kind of like putting me on game of what to do, what not to do with McGavick. You know, it was stressful. I got lost looking for my class. McGavick is so big, but he always been that type of person that would always try to pour knowledge into you and help you out any way he could. That
Definitely,
along
definitely.
with it was some about him, like, the ladies used to love him, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I remember about him. The ladies definitely used to love him. Yeah, and it was a girl I remember it was a girl I liked, yeah, it was a girl I was really crushing on or whatever the case may be, and Derek, you actually know her too because you got a different from your family, right? And I had a crush on her, and Lil Bill just kinda swooped in and took her. You know, he had more game than me or whatever the case may be. Hey, the game is the game, right? I
Hey,
was
nah,
younger,
Lil
shy.
Bill, he was smooth though. That's what I remember from him. And you talk about giving game. Just imagine the times that I had with him and my brother together. It was like a
That's right,
mixture.
cause they used to, cause Nabil used to hang with, your brother Lollipop. Is that right
Yeah, he
there?
did a lot, a lot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was like a lecture when they got together. So I ain't gonna lie. When they team up, I go the other way because I ain't trying to hit it. I'm trying to do me, do what I want to do. I ain't trying to nothing y'all talking about. But them two
Yeah,
together,
yeah.
hey, that was a hell of a combo.
Yeah, man, and, he was also your brother was actually really good in sports. You know, he wasn't the
Yeah.
Hmm.
tallest, of course, right? But he was always really good in sports, and like I said, y'all used to argue like crazy. And once again, a memory I can remember, like, when I just started kinda coming to the center and getting out the house, and, we at the center playing basketball, and
Yeah.
I remember we all playing, and you and your brother was on the same team, and he was kinda getting mad at you, like, "Man, you sorry," or whatever he was calling you sorry. But the funny thing is, AZ, and of course you don't remember this probably, I can remember, like, either that same day or, like, a day or 2 later, you and I was at the center just down there, and we played one-on-one, and you were destroying me, right? I couldn't do nothing with you, so I'm thinking in my mind, like, "Man, if he's sorry, according to his brother, then what am I?" Right?
Imagine.
So yeah, yeah, but it was a lot of good times growing up, man, and I definitely did wanna give a shout out to your brother because he was
Well,
a
thank
known
you. I
figure.
appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure, man, and he was
He was
just a
solid.
known great person in my opinion. Yeah, in my opinion, solid individual from the South Side community. Everybody knew Lil Bill, and when y'all moved out east, I'm sure everybody
The same
knew Lil
thing.
Bill out there.
Yeah.
Sure
So
was.
yeah, definitely wanted to just pay a tribute to him, man.
Thank
So
you.
man, uh, man, so now I just wanted to get into the person that you've become today. Now we're in our mid 30s, right? So I do want to ask you, who is AZ today, or who is Aziz Maurice today?
A family man, entrepreneur, a responsible and respected man.
Got you. And family man, you and I actually, we also have another mutual friend, and we were in a wedding together, or whatever the case may be. And you and I still weren't married yet.
Mm-mm.
I do want to say, and I always tell Derek, like, that bachelor party night was one of the greatest nights of my life. Still been trying to replicate that, right? We had a lot of fun that night. And what I want to say is when we linked up that night, because once again, we get grown, we go our own paths and everything,
Mhm.
but we both linked up. I don't think I had seen you for like quite a few years, right? And one of the dope things I can say about you, just being honest, regardless of how much success you get, how well you're doing in life, you have never changed. You have always been the same AZ that we've known since we were younger. Truthfully, and I truly mean it as a compliment, right?
Thank you.
Because some people, when you doing, when you made it out the hood or whatever, you become pretty successful. A lot of people get the big head and they kind of look down on others or whatever the case may be. And that was never you. You've always been the same. And I can remember
Definitely.
us all getting together. It wasn't just you and I, it was some other people, Eric Gordon,
Mhm.
of course, Josh Pitts, but I had been knowing him a lot throughout the years. Some other people, Dedrick, that I knew growing up, and it was just dope
Yeah.
to see that nobody's changed. And you, in particular, as successful as you are, like you said, an entrepreneur, was already doing really well at that time. You were still the same AZ, and we still kicked it and had a great time, just like it was when we were younger.
Mhm.
So, what
Yes, sir.
was it that Yeah, so and a lot of people do get that big head. What was it that kept you grounded as you continue to kind of elevate in your career and just in your life? What was it that kept you grounded?
Imma say my dad and, the passing of my, brother and, talking to, my friends. I never wanted to be the type to flash how much I made, what I got, this and that. I always been the type to help. I always been the type to just say we went out, be the one to buy the drinks so everybody can have fun.
Right.
I'm the type to share my wealth, share my money. I'm I'm never stingy. I'm never too cut off to the way I grew up. I understand the way I grew up, and there's other people out there grew up the same way in the new time that I can relate to. So it's easy for me to look at myself and be like, okay, I need to keep staying humble and not be, I don't know what a word is. It'll come to me later, but I don't want to be too naive. I don't want to be too worthy, too rich, too successful to the point that I don't know myself.
Hmm. That's real. That's
And I don't
real.
want to turn on my kids and my family because of how I let the money get to me or the houses, the type of food we eat and all of that. I'd rather be who my, dad and my brother raised, and
Right,
that's the poor kid that got a little piece of taste of success,
right,
that know how
right.
to handle his business.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned, of course, how you were raised by your father and your brother, right?
Mhm.
But you also mentioned losing your brother. It's a couple of things that I've experienced, in losing my mother and cousin and uncle, having a close family and friends, right? And I'll talk about that later. Oh, it ain't too many things that'll humble you more than losing a loved one,
Hmm.
as well as like me, and that's something I want to talk about with you later as well. When you're going through a tough time mentally, right? When you may be experiencing a mental health crisis or you just going through a tough mental health spell. And there ain't too many things that'll humble you more than that. And it really make you realize in the snap of a finger, it can all be over for one, right? But
Yeah.
also, we're not nothing, and I stress this a lot now because you really realize we're not nothing but one bad decision, one bad allegation,
Yeah.
one just losing our temper with a team member, right? Or a client
Mhm.
in your case, and you can be right back at ground zero tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's important to keep that humility because it can and will happen, right? And the funny thing, and I kind of always make this comparison, right? I talk about sports, and always say this is how God and the universe work for me. I learned humility at an early age, right? Because for some reason, I never really talked trash in sports unless I really got provoked. Because I learned early on, like if we're playing basketball, right? And I started talking trash. Somehow something magically started to happen to where the other team started to hit all their shots, right? We can't hit a basket and the other team come back and win.
Yeah.
That's normally how it would go for me. So I learned early on, just remain humble, remain grounded. Because I truly think that's how life works for me.
Hmm.
Right. But
Mhm.
is easy to get that big head when you get that success. And you are a great example of just staying level headed and just being the same person that you've always been. Right. And it's funny, I can remember, and this was once again, this has been like probably about 7 years ago at this point when we were in, that wedding party together and we was out for the bachelor party. And don't worry, I ain't gonna tell no crazy stories.
Hey, wow.
No, but this is something just like kind of by the way. But I remember we were all talking, and our other friend, his brothers was even there, so it was early in the night, and we were just kind of talking about what we're doing. And Az was kind of humbly saying, and correct me if I'm misspeaking, Az, but he was kind of saying, I've been doing personal training now, kind of like, this is how much it costs for me to train you or whatever the case may be. And I got this many clients. And it was somewhere along the way, and I forgot what we were doing, but one of our friends' older brother was like, "Yeah, you got money." He said something. He was like, "Yeah, you got money because I heard you. You got this many clients. This is how much you charge. Don't sit over there and act like you don't got no money." It's like, damn, stop counting on me pockets, man. Or whatever the case may be. But yeah, really do appreciate that about you. But you are a personal trainer, right? So what was it that made you want to get into, personal fitness, want to get into fitness?
I just wanted to stick to sports, and I like to draw too and take
Okay.
pictures. I'm also a photographer too. So I look at the body as a canvas or art in a way where you can transform it to the better version of yourself by just working out and eating right.
Mhm.
So I wanted to take a person and make them look better than what they looked like yesterday in sports. And yeah, sports made me want to go that route, and health, and I also wanted to live for a long time.
Yeah, of
So
course.
I told myself, why not?
Right, and you got in, and of course, sports, you have to stay in shape. And then kind of after sports, you kind of stayed in shape and made it an actual lifestyle, right? Outside of just playing sports. How long have you been? Well, let me ask you this. What was it that really made you want to take that leap of faith and start your own personal training business? Because Derek actually, he has a cleaning service, right? He has this been Derek, please correct me if I'm kind of categorizing your business, but it takes a lot to take that leap of faith and jump out there and start your own business. So
Yeah,
what
yeah.
was it that made you want to start your own personal training business first off, and then what gave you the courage to actually jump out there and start it?
Um, 2000, I'm gonna say 2009. And nine, a lot of people was talking about in college. They was talking about how long they been waiting to get a job when with their degrees and all of that. Going into exercise science, I was like, I might as well go into personal training with my exercise science because it's easy to start a business with. I worked with Gold's Gym for a while, probably 10 years. I was working with Gold's Gym. And by looking at the way they do business, it helped me conduct myself in a way where it helped me get clients and stay afloat. Actually, from there, it got me into real estate. So real estate is where mostly of the profit come in. So not
Okay.
really the person trading, all real estate.
They say
Okay,
all
real estate.
roads lead back to real estate. I had a mentor that tell me that, and
Yeah.
I like that. But before you say something, John, I like to touch on the fact that you said working at Gold's Gym helped you kind of scope your business, and that's something big for those who are listening. Sometimes, you have to start somewhere else just to learn. And I want
Yeah.
you to go deeper into that. Was it, anything in particular or specific that you learned from Gold's Gym that you know, do within your own personal training business?
how they handled the way they was doing their contracts,
Mhm.
how they handled customer service. It wasn't, "Let me call Char."
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was, "Let me go," they came to the personal trainer and talked to him, about their problem. So I like that because of the connection that they build with their customer, with their clients. So I did like that.
Okay.
It that helped me in life itself and in business because, like me, I rather instead of sending a text or something, if we have a disagreement, I'd rather come to you, talk to you face to face, so you can actually see and feel how I feel instead
Mhm.
of showing you a text message. So
More
that
personable.
improved my lifestyle a lot in business lifestyle a lot.
Okay, okay.
Right. Yeah. And you mentioned something, right? You mentioned customer service, and that's something that I'm actually really big on, and really just respect for one another, right?
Mhm.
And people don't understand how much being respectful is truly an important skill set and work quality to have, right? Because if you don't
Mhm.
treat people with respect, I don't care how talented you are, how skilled you are, you can only go so far.
Yeah.
And I'm and if I had to bet, a lot of your clientele came from, you being a great personal trainer, but also how you treat others.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not for nothing, it's also the consistency,
Mhm.
right? And I'm quite sure you could not have built your business in any of your fields that you're in without being consistent. And a lot of things as well. You're not the only one that I've seen dabble into the field of being a personal trainer, right?
Mhm.
But you're the most successful one that I know personally out of the people that we know in our inner circles or maybe
Mhm.
grew up with. And I do think it's because of how respectful you are to others, but also how consistent you've been, right?
Mhm.
Because it's going to be periods of time, I'm sure, when you didn't have a lot of clients, right?
Mhm.
Or didn't have as many as you would like, at least,
Yeah.
right? But you still stuck with it and you treated every client the same as if you had, the amount that you wanted, right?
Mhm.
So you're constantly building those reps and getting better at your craft, at what you're doing and how you're treating others, right? And that's something that's very underrated. And you can't be a great physical trainer, a great real estate agent, great photographer, great artist, or whatever the case may be, right? Overnight, it really takes putting those reps in,
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. And
right?
then, AZ, you got this very unique demeanor. I haven't seen you in years, but when I talked to you when you came and you stopped into my store, you got that like you truly care type of vibe by you. And if
Yeah.
I don't know how you approach your clients,
Mhm.
how the verbal
Same way.
transaction go. But I can tell how people just come in just automatically trust you. Like this man gonna get me right. Like I trust what he's saying. And I'm sure that takes you a long way also. And it probably plays on your respect. But I want to ask you. We was talking about when we grew up Southside. I know how rough it was in Germany. You talk about mental health a lot. And is there some things, or it may not be multiple things, but at least one single thing that you didn't pay no attention to it growing up, but it affected you later in life, and you could have dealt with it, or you could still be dealing with it, because that's something that we talk about a lot. A lot of things that affected us that we have no idea that it would affect us later in life.
Thing what I deal with now is I would say the passing of my mother and brother. To this day, I go days, about 2 or 3 days constantly, like every other month, sometimes every other week, thinking about them.
Yeah, of course.
And they put me in a space where I just shut down. I shut down, and I think I don't want to, but it just happened.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not so because of my brother, well, because of my mother passed. It's more so of my brother passed.
Mhm.
because early on in his childhood, people was telling me he went to the club with some guys of his friends and they drugged him.
Yeah, yeah.
And my evil thoughts come in as, man, if I had the chance to revenge that point of life, what would I do?
Yeah.
Would I take them, take the people that drug them off the map? Would I fight them? Like I have so many things that goes through my mind at that time that it's scary. It's scary to me because since I have kids now, it's
Right.
like, why do I still feel this way? Do I feel
You
this way
understand?
because his death came from being drugged at a younger age to where he became homeless and passed? Or was it me? I hold myself responsible to a certain extent. So it's like so many things that come to my mind. And then my mother, I was so young that I really didn't even get to know her, so I don't even
Mhm.
know how she felt, when I was hugging her,
Mhm.
voice. I don't know nothing. Only thing I know is what my dad and my brother told me. So that
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
plays a part, you know, in my thoughts, in my mental health. What keep me strong is knowing that I got kids. I got 2 girls.
Mhm.
So,
Man, daddy's girl.
Girl. That's what it say there.
I mean, so what I do now is when I get those thoughts, I just close my eyes and say a prayer. I close my eyes and say a prayer, and that brings me back to light. It keeps me focused. It keeps me on track of being a man that one day that my girls would wanna marry. Not
That's
a
real.
person that his mental health get the best of him. My mental health get gets the best of me in the way of thinking, not doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It gets me thinking about things that I know I won't do because I got my method in. Once I do my thinking, I pray and I move on and get back to life. It's like when I get to that point, it's like I'm in a fake world. It's not real. So since it's not real, I got in my head that it's not real, so I know I'm not gonna act. So it keeps me whole. It keeps me who I am. It keeps me the man that I am now with 2 girls.
Right. And
Okay.
you
That's real.
mentioned that some of the things that you really think about, right, is the unfortunate passing of your mother and your brother at a very young ages. But and us as boys growing up, we're taught not to show no emotion, right? I always talk about how we're only taught to show either happiness, gladness, or anger, right? Anything in between, don't show none of that. You sad, it comes out as angry because they telling you you shouldn't be sad or you shouldn't be crying or whatever the case may be. If you scared, same thing, right? So we kind of learn to kind of keep our emotions bottled in, right? But with you just kind of elaborating, how those things affected you and how you kind of cope with it and deal with it and work through it, right? Like you said, you have 2 daughters, you have a wife, right? You now are not it's not just you anymore, right?
Mm-mm,
And with me, I don't have children of my own and I'm not married yet, but I do have a lady, a partner, right? And I do think it's important when I'm feeling those ways, right? If I'm feeling down, upset, angry, if I'm triggered by something, right? It's very important. I learned it's very important to be vulnerable and communicate that to my lady, in which that wasn't always hard to do. I mean, that wasn't always easy to do. Right?
True.
Is, telling her like, "Hey, I'm feeling down." Something reminded me like the other day, just the other day, I was telling her something reminded me of my mother, when she was getting ready to transition and just being open, like I'm feeling off, right? So if I'm acting a certain type of way, it's not you, or anything going on with us is really me and something that triggered me around my mother, right? And my lady is a therapist, so she really understands, of course. Uh, Yeah, right. I know, right? You'll be surprised that you're with the therapist, and I find myself being a therapist for her a lot of times. It's kind of funny, right? But so yeah, Az, I do want to ask: did you find it hard to communicate those vulnerabilities to your lady, right? Because we're taught to keep it bottled in, not to talk to anyone about it, or maybe your friends about it. But when you're talking to your lady, it's a little different. But in my opinion, in order to have a happy, healthy relationship, you do got to communicate those things. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of assumptions and a lot of lashing out due to misunderstandings.
True.
No, it's not. It's not hard. Just because that's one thing I always said I wanted in a relationship is communication. So from day one, it was rocky at first, but more she got comfortable, more I got comfortable. It made it easy. So now it became more so of a friendship than a relationship, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So she became one of the friends inside of a marriage. So it made everything easy. The way I communicate my feelings with my friends, it made it easy to do it with her because I looked at her as my friend too. Like one of the guys, she ain't a guy, but she had the same vibe
Yeah,
like
Right,
that.
right.
So it made it easy.
that's pretty dope.
Good. And that's good that you had that at an early age. But y'all, I can't remember. I feel like y'all was together years ago when we were actually, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like y'all were together when we were a part of that bridal party years
Yeah,
ago.
we was.
But you was a little older. I don't know how long y'all been together. At least then you were a little older, a little more
Mhm.
mature. But that's really good to have that level of maturity in the relationship because it's not easy to do. For some people, it's not natural, but it is important. If you're in a relationship with someone, you should be on the same team for sure,
Definitely.
right?
Yeah.
You should feel like you're having someone that you can go to war with, not against, right? You shouldn't be thinking about like ways to outsmart your partner if you are, or get one over on your partner. If you are, you may be in a wrong relationship, first off. Second off, you
Right.
maybe need to take a look in the mirror, right? But there are a lot of people out there to do that. Even some of, some other friends that I have, and I have to check them on that. Like, nah, you was wrong in this situation. And I do think, as men, we do gotta hold our friends accountable more, right? Before we, move on, I do want to be clear because I want to acknowledge everything that you've accomplished and also everything that you're continuing to accomplish in your respective field. So you're a personal trainer. You're a real estate agent. You do photography, so you're a photographer, right? I do know you are a podcaster. You also are an artist. Let me know if I'm missing anything. You're also a former college athlete,
Mhm.
right? So once again, let me know if I missed anything.
Mm-mm. Nah, you ain't miss nothing.
Yeah, and that is a whole lot that I just said. As we Derek must have lost connection, but that is a whole lot that I named, man. And I do appreciate you chasing all of your dreams. Right. We live in a time that you don't have to do just one thing. Right. And before we move on from the topic of mental health, do you ever feel, because unfortunately a lot of people that we grew up with didn't make it as far as we did.
Mhm.
They either transition, from this world early, or they're incarcerated, or they're just having a tough time in life, right? So do you ever feel survivor's guilt?
Nah.
Not at all. No, not at all. It's not ever tough like when you talk to some of your friends from the neighborhood and they're not hating, but they're not where you want to be in life. And they're tripping off of that answer. You know what I mean?
Nah, nah. They had the same opportunity.
Hey, you got the same 24 hours I got, bro.
I think for me, I worked I worked hard, been through so many ups and downs, so many failures, so many relationships that now where I'm at, I can't feel guilty for what I accomplished
Yeah.
because of how hard I work. If, in another person's eyes, if that's being not humble because I don't feel guilty, there's something wrong with you.
They need to look
Right,
in the
of
mirror.
course.
Yeah, because working hard to get to where you at shouldn't be a crime or shouldn't even be looked at as you being can't think of the word. Bragging.
Braggadocious.
Yeah, it shouldn't be looking at as you bragging because you work so hard to get to a point in life um that you at, you know. But for me, I don't think nobody ever look at me like that because I'm so private.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't even
And you're so oh, go ahead, my apologies, go ahead.
a lot of people don't even know where I stay. A lot of people don't even know if I bought a house, not bought a house, what I drive or I'm so private that for you to know, you have to actually talk to my dad or somebody super close that's right beside me to even know how I'm like I don't
Wow.
post
Right.
up nothing on social media. Like my daughters ain't even on social media.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and you're so humble,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're so humble, so it's kinda hard for anyone to hate on you because you're such a good person
Hmm.
and you're so humble, right? It's funny because when people don't see you and you are doing well for yourself, and Derek and I talk about this, right? When people don't see you and when they don't see you in the hood, if you're not doing like the same things that they're doing just every day, they swear to God that you made it and you got all the money in the world. And I just mean this respectfully, and you can let me know if people don't know how to do nothing, they know how to ask for money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they don't know how to greet you and ask how you doing, they can reach out and ask for money.
Yeah.
It is really funny, and they really do think you're just super successful and got all this money in the world, right? And in your case, like you don't have a wife and kids to take care of, right? Like you don't have money that you're investing in your own projects. But it's kind of funny when they don't see you and they ain't seen you in a minute. They like, man, you've been getting money, ain't you? You know what I mean? It's kind of funny. Well, while we're on here, I just kind of thought about this because you are a former athlete, right? I do want to take some time to just kind of talk about sports. So, real quick, NFL, do you have a team? Period. Like, do you have an NFL team that you like? And do you have a team that you're rooting for that's still in the NFL playoffs?
Nah, I like the Titans and the 49ers.
Ooh, tighten up, baby.
But other than
Tighten
that,
up
no, I don't got
then.
no team that I'm rooting for.
Okay, you want it to be a good Super Bowl. Cool, cool, cool. You're a Titans fan, okay? And I said this on a previous episode. If you are from Nashville, I'm not saying the Titans got to be your favorite team, but if you root against the Titans, I don't trust you, and I sincerely mean that. They ain't got to be your favorite team, but if you root against your home team to lose, it's hard for me to fully trust you, right? Truth, and of course I'm joking a little bit, but it to me is deeper than just sports. It's like, okay, this is kind of a version of self-hate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you won't root for the Titans, like, would you not root for me if I was, doing something for
Good
myself?
point.
Yeah,
More
and
than
that's
likely.
yeah, yeah, and I mean that respectfully, and that's something that's deeper than sports, right? But NBA, who's your favorite player? Because I
Yeah,
cannot
yeah,
remember.
King James, baby.
You say what?
King James.
Man.
King James. Yeah, I kind of felt like you was a LeBron guy. It's something about you. You kind of know him when you run into him. We've known each other, but by the time LeBron hit the league, we kind of went to different schools and everything. So you are a King James fan, LeBron
They got
James.
Yeah.
similar beards and everything. Look.
I can see it. I can see it. I got to do this. First off, Derek and I are Kobe fans, right?
Yeah, yeah.
God rest his soul.
Hmm.
But me personally, I believe Jordan is the GOAT. Do you believe that Michael Jordan is the GOAT?
Imma say he was in my eyes, no, but I would say he was the GOAT in his era.
with
Mhm.
Jordan.
I can't say he's my GOAT
Mhm.
because I
Mm.
never seen him play. I never seen him do half of the things that the old heads done, other than look on YouTube, so he wouldn't be my GOAT.
Mhm.
With Kobe wouldn't be my GOAT. I seen him play a lot. I went to a game, seeing him play and all that, but he came way after, well, I ain't gonna say after. Yeah, yeah. Before I even understood the game of basketball. But with LeBron, I think it's so different with LeBron because how he handle his business on and off the court. He ain't just a basketball player. He you can look at him as a mentor by just Googling them, or even looking them up on YouTube and all that, just by the stuff he do. And then he carry his business in a way where he one of a kind that's still with his wife.
Very true.
It ain't
That's
too
something you can't take
many
away from him.
Nope, it ain't too many basketball players that's still with they day one and worth what he's worth, and ain't even got in trouble.
Else you can't say for him to be in the limelight since he was before 18, like 16 probably or
Mhm.
15. Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
he's
almost
handled
unheard of.
his life like outside.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. And you definitely can't take that away from LeBron.
Mhm.
Um yeah, I can't lie. I gotta give it up to him when it comes to that. I will say though, you said that about Kobe. When Kobe won his second two championships, we were grown. Just kind of throwing it out there. We were
Yeah.
like 18 and 19. We the same
We
age.
was, but it wasn't, how can I explain it? I didn't pay attention to Kobe because my favorite player before LeBron was Steve Nash. Steve Nash, D Wade.
Yeah, D Wade was one of my favorite players too.
Yeah. So I really didn't pay attention because I think I didn't pay attention because he wasn't he wasn't Jordan, basically.
And he was trying to be Jordan, if we're
Yeah,
being
yeah.
honest, right? And he was like almost there in a way. He was kind of almost there as far as his play,
Mhm.
but he just wasn't quite there yet, if we're
Yeah.
being honest. And then he's my favorite player, right? And when you look at like his career, wasn't unfortunately close to Jordan, right? I will say, and I'm a Kobe fan, and when I was younger, I'm just joking here. When I was younger, I really used to be serious and debate people all day long, right? About Kobe and his argument for being the greatest. I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of became like a basketball NBA historian for a while, right? I could probably still tell you who won the championship probably from about 88 all the way up until last year, right? And I studied, and a lot of the things that Jordan did, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Yeah, he was tough. I'm not gonna lie. So I say as a Kobe fan, I had to go ahead and kind of surrender and say, yeah, Jordan is the greatest, right? And I'm talking 5 MVPs. Of course, they talk about the 6 finals and the 6 finals MVPs, but I ain't trying to go against your argument of LeBron, right? I'm just saying like this was my perspective once I really
Just
started researching.
imagine Kobe or LeBron taking a year off. How
What
many
does that have to do with anything?
how many championships would they have?
Okay, it's two ways you can look at that, right? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. If we being honest about that, because some people do try to say he took a year off, got rest, right? Let me be. Did you ever take a year off from basketball and then start back playing?
Imma say for fun, yeah, I took a year off for fun, but actually hooping in leagues and stuff like that, nah.
Anytime you take time off, or we went bowling one time. You actually a good bowler too. Anytime you don't do something for a year, you come back, you're not gonna be the same that you were. You're gonna be a little rusty.
I think he was
Especially in
still
a sport
training.
where players, you say what?
I think he was still training.
He was playing baseball.
Yeah, but I think on the side, he was still training basketball.
Okay, so and we all know he gambled, right? So he playing baseball, he gambling, Lord knows what he doing outside of that, and he training for basketball.
Man, it's
Come
Jordan. Of
on.
course he could do it.
Yeah, nah, man. He went Trey took a whole year and a half off, man. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you take some time off from doing something for a year, you come back, you may not be the same. And he was in his 30s. He was in his 30s when he took off and came back.
Yeah, but they didn't have no
Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it.
defense. Wasn't like it was. I'm gonna say between the defense wasn't nothing really. So it was easier.
Compared to the defense of our day,
No. I would say 2000. I would say 2000s up to probably 2007.
and you mentioning like LeBron's prime years was after that.
Yeah.
So LeBron wasn't really in no defensive era
He
either, if
was
we
though.
look at it like
You
that.
still had the Pistons. You still had the Suns.
But he didn't win nothing. I don't even think he didn't even win his first MVP until after then.
I think he won his what? Two? Oh yeah, yeah.
08,
2008, yeah.
09. No. 9 and 10 actually. It
Yeah.
was 2009 to
Yeah, because
2010.
you had Boston, you had Pistons, Suns, Dallas. So you still had good defensive teams back then.
You mentioned the Suns. The Suns was known for not playing defense.
Nah, I don't know about that, but
That was you talking about when Nash played? That was one of the known things about them. They didn't play defense. They was all offense.
Jeremiah Nash?
You saying Nash was a defender?
No. He wasn't a defender. But they had, I say they defense probably back then top 15 back then.
Who, Phoenix? No, that's fair. But I'm saying Jordan won against the bad boy Pistons, one of the toughest defensive teams ever. He had to go against the Boston Celtics. Yeah,
But he never beat the Boston Celtics.
No, he didn't because they got older.
Yeah, so
They got older.
so you really can't say that then.
No, I said he went up against them. LeBron never beat the teams that you was talking about. He didn't beat the Suns because he didn't play them.
Well, he did beat Boston.
No, let me tell you this. Now, let me tell you this. Now, we got to keep it a buck. Beat Boston after he got with D. Wade and Chris Bosh.
But
Let's keep it a buck, man.
to beat Boston. He had to, because Boston had Kevin Garnett, Rondo, had Paul Pierce, Ray Allen. What was that?
Kobe beat him.
Huh? But
Kobe beat him.
look at who Kobe had.
He just had Pau Gasol.
Yeah.
That was a monster.
Okay. Let me tell you this. He had Pau Gasol. Now, also give him Carmelo. What would have happened?
Who? Give Kobe Carmelo?
Because that's pretty much what LeBron did. He got with D. Wade and he got with Chris Bosh. And they were all in their prime when they got together. Boston was old.
Nah.
They were old.
Yeah, about the time he got with him, yeah, they had
Not that second year.
You say what?
Not the first year. Not the first year. That wasn't.
No, and I give you that. They
year.
were still in like I think Paul Pierce was the youngest. He was like 29 or something like that, right? By the time, but LeBron couldn't get past them. By the time he was like, all right, I can't get past them. They was all in their early to mid 30s. And then he got with D. Wade and Chris Bosh, who all of them got drafted the same year. They were pretty much in their primes, in the prime of their career. And you look at D. Wade, if you take D. Wade and Ray Allen, who's the best player in their prime? And D. Wade was in his prime against the older Ray Allen. I give you Kevin Garnett over Bosh, but at that time they were probably about equal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you got LeBron and Paul Pierce.
Yeah, that ain't.
And we know who's better there.
It was a super team.
So it's like, yeah, but I do say that to say I actually think it's a great case to make for both of them. You know what I mean? And both of them, and LeBron, you can't take nothing away from him being a family man, truthfully, and not getting into any trouble and all the work he do off of the court too. So I do want to truly give him props. I do. It's just when people say like Jordan didn't play any competition, it's like, okay, if you want to say that, LeBron played tougher competition, but LeBron has also had more help in his career than Jordan. If you want to say Pippen, yes, but Pippen isn't better pound for pound than D Wade. I don't even think he's better than Anthony Davis, right? And them are just two of the people that I named. Right. But it is fun to do these debates from time to time. Go ahead, chime in if you want. I'm sorry. I don't want to. I wasn't trying to like say that and then drop the mic on you.
Think with Jordan, the guys he played with, they only looked at Jordan to do one thing, and that was score. So I think it came easy for Jordan to be Jordan. Where LeBron, he had to do it all. He had to be the assist man, scorer, had to be defensive man. He had to play an all around game just so his team can win. Where with Jordan,
Think
he ain't had to do all that.
think that actually, I think that's kind of more of a overrated statement because LeBron was asked to like assist more, if you will. I honestly think that was just his game, how he naturally played,
He was.
especially once he played with the D Wade and the boxes. You didn't really have to do all that. And in fact, I think if you would have chose one of the other y'all, they may have been more successful, right? If he would just would have chose like I'm gonna be a scorer, or I'm gonna drop down my scoring and be more of an assist man, right? But Jordan still averaged like 5 assists for his career and 5 rebounds, right? So it's not like Jordan did nothing but score. He averaged like 2 assists less than LeBron. You know what I mean? And maybe 2 rebounds less. If I mean a lot of once again, I just like to keep it. I look this stuff
Okay,
up, right?
okay,
And
okay.
I, yeah, but this is just for fun and talk. Truthfully, neither one of them paying our bills.
Nah,
Truthfully, we just
Yeah,
got who
no.
we like. Like I said, I'm a Kobe guy. So just joking. But both of them are great. And I didn't really get to watch Jordan, but LeBron is still a show to watch when he's on the court. Right. You
Definitely,
can't do
definitely.
nothing but respect this game.
It's
And
history
he's
every
gonna
time he
finish
play.
right. And he's gonna finish what, top 5 in every statistical category pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah.
Right. So yeah, you gotta respect him, man. But before we close this out, man, I just have a couple of more questions. Right. First one, what is your deepest fear?
My deepest fear would be seeing my kids grow up not being disciplined.
Mm,
That's a different one right there.
Because with discipline teach you how to navigate through life. Discipline teach you that, well, make you understand that with everything you do, it's a cause and effect.
ain't that the truth?
It teach you to humble yourself. It teach you to better yourself. It teach you to be the best version of yourself by having discipline.
Yeah, and I don't have kids of my own yet, right? But I bet you that is a real big fear. And Derek, who has kids, it makes you think differently,
Mhm.
Definitely,
right?
definitely.
Because, well, yeah, because also, you'll get to a point to where, your kids are grown, and this happens sometimes. Like being in youth development, but also just knowing people. You got parents sometimes looking at their kids like, man, where in the hell did I go wrong?
Not discipline 'em.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And that's where it gets scary. Now they're grown and what is it's either like a proverb or something, but it's easier to raise strong kids. And I know I'm butchering this, but it's easier to raise good kids than try to repair broken adults or something along those lines. Right.
Mhm.
And that truly is the case. You raise your kids with love, of course, but also discipline and structure and teaching them the law of cause and effect.
True. I think nowadays people like I'm going through it. Well, I see it every single day. Where it's a person that I know that him and his wife don't even discipline their kids. They let their kids do whatever to the point where I have rules at my house where they basically don't come over because we have rules and they don't want to get on to their kids. or they don't wanna discipline their kids when they come over here.
So this is a friend or someone you know that it's like, yeah, they don't even wanna come over because in here, we gotta have structure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, a lot of people
Understand that.
feel like let the kids be kids without discipline. Let them have
And
fun,
I don't like this phrase.
let them be bad, basically. That's the way I look at it. Let them be
Yeah.
bad to the point of no return. And
Mhm.
now you wonder when they get older, you wonder why they cussing you out, why
Mhm.
they, you know, wanna join a gang or
Put in
going
a
to
life of
jail.
crime. Yeah.
Yeah. You wonder why they are the way they are. 'Cause at an early age, my boy is my, baby. I wanna keep him young. I wanna protect him and all that. Hey, there's so many
Mhm.
women nowadays don't even let the father be a father. Father is
Man,
like a
was preach.
father is like a, baby daddy. You can't tell my kids nothing. Or if you try to, Imma, keep them away from you. You can't nowadays, fathers that's in a marriage aren't even fathering. They rather let the wife handle the kids while they go off, do what they wanna do because,
Mhm.
like, it's easy to do what I wanna do than take care of the kids because now if I wanna step in, it's gonna be a problem. If I wanna discipline, it's gonna be a problem.
Mhm.
Like, promise, I'll give you an example. Out to eat with this person and they wife and kids. And the father was telling the child, how when you go out to eat, how you got, when you sit in the booth
Mhm.
and when you sit in the booth and you got the table,
Right.
Yeah, of course.
so the child was playing, you know, playing and he actually hit his brother in the face. And the dad said something to him, and the mama was saying, don't say it like that. You got to be nice to him. Okay. And then the child went under the table and sit there. We're just sitting under the table. And the father was saying something. Second time, he said it in a way where he didn't even want to say nothing else. He said, you got to be nice to him. Like he was trying to discipline him. He was trying to, tell him to get off the, floor and all that, sit up
Mhm.
straight and all that. But he couldn't because of the mother.
Yeah.
The mother I think a lot of mothers wanna keep their sons well, I ain't gonna I think a lot of mothers treat their sons like they got daughters. They're
Yeah.
they rather let their son be destructive, be violent, be out of control because of how they feel in their heart. He whooping them. He crying. How mothers have soft hearts when it comes to their kids, but really don't understand they raising a grown
Yeah.
man. You know, like a lot of parents don't understand that. A lot of parents don't understand. Let the father come in, a little girl or a boy. Let the father come in and discipline that child. Social media and people that don't ask enough women that don't ask enough questions did in a space where it's like the father ain't even there. It's what I say goes.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. And
That's why
I
I
want to
think
piggyback off of that for a second. You said a lot of things that touched me. I heard this quote somewhere. Most mothers look at their child or they teach their boys as if they still boys. And most men teach them and look at them as they're men. They're gonna be children 17 years out of their life. And if of course they healthy, they live a long life, let's say 77, they only a child for 17 years of their life. And then they're gonna be an adult for 3 times as longer as a child. So that's why I said I hate the term, the phrase, let a kid be a kid, because honestly, the whole time a child is a child, you are prepping them for an adult. When you think about it,
Mhm.
the first years up into a toddler, yes, I understand that, but after that, 8, 9, and 10-year-old, at that point, you teaching them to be an adult. So I just wanted to piggyback off of that because, I
Yeah,
truly believe that, and that's what I'm adapting, when it comes to raising my kids.
you right about that with especially with the boys. I think with the boys, this my thing. I say it's around about 2 years old when the boys
Hmm.
start trying to hit their mothers or even hit
Yeah,
their
yeah.
daddies. That's
Hmm.
at 2 years old, that's the time where the wife or the baby mama should be like, okay, it's time for you to step in. It's time for you to
Hmm.
teach him the way to be a man because you can't give out false consequences. You can't
Hmm.
say, I'm gonna whoop you and and not whoop him when he do the damage, when he do
Yeah,
the effect. It should always be a consequence after the effect, no matter what. But for some reason, the women nowadays, even that grew up, the women's in what born in the he's just now having kids. It's like social media got them thinking different,
Mhm.
parenting different. Like
Right.
it's crazy. It's like fathers can't even be fathers.
yeah.
Like
Mhm.
it's crazy. Baby daddies can't be baby daddies. It's like being a father. It's like committing a crime nowadays.
Hmm. Got a point.
Mhm.
But I don't play that.
Nah, I no.
I
Got to
don't
stay
I don't
on
play
them.
that. Yeah, I don't play that. I'm a discipline. I don't. I think my thing is I don't care how old she is. I'm a discipline. She can be 30 years old. I'm still going discipline.
Mhm. Yeah. Nah, I heard that, man. It's funny because I didn't wanna really chime in because I don't have kids of my own, but it's funny.
Hey, chime in.
But it no, 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 I'm saying this to say, I'm in youth development, and I do agree with a lot with what you said, and I wanted to be quiet to let Derek chime in because he have kids, right? But it was a few things that you said, when you kinda started to elaborate, and I know Derek, and Derek was over there looking like, "This motherfucker spitting right here." You know what I mean? I already know he was. Few of the key things you said, like, "This motherfucker spitting." So I was like, "Imma let Derek go ahead," and I knew he was about to chime in. He like, "Imma piggyback." Yeah, I mean? Man, hilarious, man. But, man, I do wanna say one more question. I asked you what your deepest fear was, and you really elaborated on it, very well, right? This dude funny. So, seriously, AZ, if you can hear me,
Yeah, I can
what
hear
is your what is your life?
you. My ultimate goal is to set up my kids, family, and friends to a point of not needing anything in this world and understanding that this world is not their forever home.
I don't think it's, man, that's a great life
Yeah.
goal. I don't think it's nothing else to say. And me knowing you, yeah, my guy, Aziz Maurice, AZ, he knowing you already know you're going to achieve that goal and any other goals that you set out in life. And we really do appreciate you for joining our
Definitely,
platform.
definitely.
Thank you.
Of course, you have your podcast as well, right? And do you mind kind of giving that in all of your social media handles? And of course, we gotta return the favor. And if you will have us, come onto your platform as well.
My podcast is centered around mental health. Uh, it's solely mental health and getting people to get better, getting people to understand they not alone, getting them to open up more, getting them to talk to their families and friends more, getting them to not let their mental health define them. Getting them to understand that mental health actually is a negative than a positive. Getting them to understand that I gotta get to a place where mental health is not affecting my day to day. And also now I'm trying to set up a scholarship for kids that are in school that's
Hmm.
dealing with mental health, that I give money to them for books or paying probably 2 to 5,000 on their tuition or whatever the case may be.
Man, that's amazing.
Giving
Yeah,
back.
that's pretty
I'm working
dope.
up to that point. I don't got it now, but
And you'll
That's
I'm
get
working
great that
there.
you have that goal.
You'll get there.
Like I said, you'll get there. You've achieved everything else that you wanted to achieve up until this point, man. So that's great. We gotta, yeah, definitely come onto your platform because Derek and I have some insight, you know, around mental health as well. And also it's really important, and I'm so glad that you reached out to be a part of our platform. And like I said, we want to be a part of yours as well
Y'all gonna
because
have to
it's
drive.
and really because it's important that we continue to kind of network
Definitely.
and lift each other up. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, and Derek know this. I'm really passionate about, you know, as a Nashville native, it's us kind of gaining our respect in all of these respective fields, right?
Mhm.
And I believe, you know, we've had so many talented individuals, whether it's sports or in other areas of life, that I just feel like hasn't gotten as much shine as they should have. So that's also I want for Nashville to start being recognized as those areas for people that look like us
Okay.
because
Hmm.
we do have a lot of talent, and I just want us to continue to grow and build our own network here in Nashville. So that's why it's just important. I want us to continue to grow. I want our channel to grow, and I want to continue to help, like you said, help people be their best selves and
Mhm.
continue to pull people up with us.
Okay. I also need an autographed book.
Man, you know I got you. You know I
Yeah, I'll
got you,
pay
man.
for it. Just let me know how much.
I got you. Let me know. I got some copies here, so when we link up, I got you.
Okay.
I'll bring you
Hmm.
Okay.
one.
Yeah, yeah, of
Man, for
course.
sure, man. But it was truly a pleasure, man.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Good night.
All right, now, if you like what you just heard, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, SNE 2.0. SNE stands for Spare No Effort. All we're trying to do is help people become the best version of themselves. So please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and remember, spare no effort.